always said I can't be Stevie Nicks. I'm just a generic, non-specific look-alike.
And so are we. Welcome to the generic, non-specific look-alike Stevie Nicks podcast. I'm your co-host, Randy.
Hey folks, I'm Anthony, and today we have a very special episode and a very special guest. Randy and I are calling this kind of episode My First Nicksperience. So we're going to invite someone who's not a giant Stevie Nicks fan or might not even know about her, but has
There
another
are people like that?
very similar to the way we're obsessed, and expose them to Stevie Nicks songs that we picked for them specifically to correspond to their Stevie Nicks. So today we have Tia, who is a friend from way back. We've also worked together. She doesn't want us to tell you about all how fabulous she is, but you Google her and find out. And Tia, you are our Kamala, because you're our first woman and first non-white cat. So thank you so much for being here today.
Yay! I hope your watchers and listeners are okay with that. But you saying that.
They're not.
We don't
They
even
better
know
be.
what to say.
Yeah. See you later.
Right.
We don't want you watching.
So Tia,
Yes.
who's your Stevie Nicks?
So, okay, my Stevie Nicks. So an artist who I just fangirl over, right? It's Lenny Kravitz. I love Lenny.
I like his pants.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, right?
Did I tell you how many people sent that video to me in my DMs where his pants went? They're like, Tia. And I'm like, oh my God, I've seen this so many times. Everyone knows,
Right.
I'm the fan, and I'd be happy to see it. But I don't think that video exists anymore. I haven't seen it.
Randy
since.
has a copy, don't worry.
Really?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's my screensaver, but
Oh, stop. I cannot. Oh my God. Listen, all I know is just that, I don't know, maybe people watching don't even know what the video is, but he's he's at a concert, he's playing his guitar, he goes down, to bend down, and the crotch of his pants split open, and then everything.
Ta-da!
it's what we call the full Kravitz.
Oh God. Can I tell you? Okay, I'm in this phase where when I was in college, I discovered him my senior year of high school. And by this time, I think the song was Fly Away. I was in my friend's car, and we were probably going to Friendlies or something. I don't even know if Friendlies is even around anymore, but we were going to Friendlies, and I'm like, what is this song? I love it. I love rock anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what is this? And it wasn't until I went to a record store on South Street that I saw that he was Black. I was like, oh, he's Black? Oh my, Lenny Kravitz is, and that's when I became obsessed with Lenny and buying his CDs. I didn't have a record player. I was off to college. So the first CD actually that I purchased at that record store on South Street was Mama Said. And I've been a fan ever since. I think he's absolutely amazing. I love his music. I love his style. I think I love men who wear eyeliner.
Well, I mean, come on. Who does?
I don't think he does that so much anymore, but I love the dreads. I love the leather pants, the no shirt, the guitar, the tattoos. It's funny because I was dating this guy, and he had a little fro. This is back when Lenny cut off his dreads and had a little fro. And I was just like, hey, do you want a nose piercing? No. Do you want any tattoos?
Stop making me laugh.
No.
Oh my God.
Do you play the guitar? Do you want to?
You were doing a My Fair Lady with
Basically, but he knew my obsession.
There you go, right?
My Fair Lenny.
I love it.
God.
Oh my God. I was just obsessed, blasting his music in my dorm room. I was always lucky to have a dorm by myself my freshman and sophomore year, blasting his music. The girls next door, just turn it down. I just loved him. And so Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This was so long ago. I feel like crying. Like 2000. So I graduated high school in 2000, year 2000. So like I was like late to the fact of like Fly Away because I think that came out like 2 years prior, but that's when I heard Lenny was in like year 2000. And I just like went ham and I just devoured all of his like older material. I mean, Let Love Roll, I loved it all. And then I realized, like, oh my God, his mom is like Roxy Roker. Like, oh my
Right.
God, he was married to Lisa Bonet on the Cosby Show. Like, all of these things, I'm like, oh, this man.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I want you to keep going, and I think you said
Yeah.
you might have a couple of other muses, so we can talk about them too.
Yeah.
But Stevie Nicks gets pigeonholed a lot. It's deserved a little bit, but
Mhm.
she's magical and mystical, and she might be a witch. Is
Mhm.
there something like that? Is there a characterization that you hear from others about Lenny that he gets pigeonholed into? And is it real, or do you think it's deserved?
That's a good question. I don't I don't, I mean, a negative that I always hear, like, he's just not a great lyricist. Like, his lyrics are, subpar. And that frustrates me because I'm like, okay, you can't just go like Fly Away. They always quote this line, we got to hug and rub a dub. Like, who says that, But I'm like, no, no,
I
no.
said that like an
So
hour
many
ago.
deep cuts.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, he has so many great songs like out there. So
Mhm.
I feel like if that's the one thing, but I mean, he's just like a rocker, and I think that it holds true. Like, okay, he's just a rock star. I would say
See,
that.
that makes sense to us because
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks is primarily a
Mm,
singer songwriter, emphasis songwriter. That's so important to me that
mm,
she
Right.
writes those words we hear, and I can relate so much to those words. Plus, I like the way it sounds. Plus, her
Right.
her persona, her stage
yeah.
shtick, whatever. So it sounds like Lenny is the same thing. You're saying he's a good writer, but no one pays attention to that
No one
because of
pays
the hair
attention
and
to that.
lust.
Right.
Yeah.
Lenny.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you the way you were talking about his persona because you're talking about the whole mythology around his career, which is something that Stevie has as well, and it is the wardrobe, and it is the
Mhm.
personal life, and it is the background, and you wrap all of that up, and I think sometimes for artists like that, that can overshadow the accomplishments of the lyrics
Mhm.
and the musicianship.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, musicianship. My gosh. Like, he's so great. Like, if you see him in concert, it's just, oh, it's just amazing. And the funny thing is, like, that entire time that I loved Lenny, I never thought to see a concert of his. Like, it never crossed my mind to go to a Lenny Kravitz concert. It wasn't until um It's Time for a Love Revolution album, and this was like 2008. So like I'm like loving Lenny since like 1999, 2000, and it didn't hit me to go to a concert until, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, what have I been doing with my life? Like, what have I been doing with my life? So, no, and then like it's so funny because I would go with a couple friends, and then they weren't like, this is when he would have like standing room only, and
Mhm.
maybe like in Philly, like Electric Factory when that was open. And I'm like, okay, we need to get there early. If you don't want to go there early with me, then I can go by myself. And I would
Hello.
go by myself.
Right.
I would go to these concerts by myself. And I would meet people like who was a diehard like me,
I
like
can't
standing there
relate to
for
that
hours so
at
you can be
all.
right in the front of the stage.
The
Sometimes
number of
going by yourself is
14-year-old
the
girls
best
I pushed
way.
out of my way to get to the
Can
Right.
you
stage,
I
to live at the
cannot even
stage at
tell
my
you.
first Stevie Nicks concert,
Mhm.
and I was a grown ass man.
Yeah.
But now he
He
has
keeps
so he has
trophies. Like he's got a shawl from this 14-year-old girl. He's got a,
oh my gosh, Anthony, you're out of
Couple,
control. I
couple of
can't.
scalps. No.
Oh my gosh.
So for the audience, we gave Tia some homework. We
Yeah.
had her listen to. Did you listen to the
My
bonus
notes.
track, or
Did
I
I
think
listen to what?
we gave you four, and they were like this one too if you have time. So
I
I don't
listened to
think
all five.
you just listened to all
all
five.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just in the order that we sent the list to you, let's just talk about
Okay.
them.
Sure.
And we really, we say whatever you want to say, but I also want to hear like sum it up with like is there a Lenny song or thing that this reminds you of?
Right.
That's what we're. So the first one for the audience is Bombay Sapphire, which is one of my very favorites. I think it's up there with Randy's too. This was from an album. I don't know if you know Tia. She did a lot of success with her studio albums, and then she had an album that we shall not name. Randy and I don't talk about it. It never existed. And then this was like her comeback. And that other album, just to be fair, I guess it's fine. A lot of people have love for it, but
whatever. Don't give it airtime.
She was on medication, get off of hardcore drugs, and it zombified her in a lot of ways. And
with that album that you don't name.
Yes.
That's the album
and
that
it's
she was.
So obvious to me that it had a lot of this psychiatric medication had a whole lot of influence on the music of that period.
Was she forced to put out an album by the label? Like, I
don't. Do you know, Randy? I think she just wanted to make one, and she was in this cloud for 7 years and didn't really realize yet I'm in a cloud. Right. So Bombay Sapphire came from after she went, oh crap, I'm in a cloud. I'm stopping this, and she put out this album, and it's like we were like, yay, she's back. So, what did you think of Bombay Sapphire? I'm sorry, Randy. Do you want to add anything? I talked about?
No, that's perfect.
Okay, so I just want to be clear.
Oh, let me set one thing. She did not know about the gin. She did not know there was a brand of gin by that name when she recorded.
Oh, no, has not. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But no, so I want to be clear that I've never really listened to Stevie Nicks. I think I was just not really introduced to her. And then just like the music that I was raised in like a really strict background, okay? Like super strict. So music wasn't something I was like really allowed to listen to anyway. But so as I got older and got out of that environment, I feel like I had to discover things on my own and like what my friends were listening to. I was into clubbing and stuff like that. So I feel like my knowledge of her is limited because of just how I was brought up.
That's why we have you here.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing because you're really... you can ignore that mythology we were talking about. You're just hearing the music, which is really good. And it's something I think Anthony and I would both love to go back and listen to Stevie Nicks for the first time again. Right. So we get to live vicariously through you.
Okay, cool. So Bombay Sapphires. Okay. So the first thing when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, why am I getting like Miley Cyrus here? And I was thinking like, no, because there's something in Miley's voice that I really like, especially when she was on Beyonce's album Cowboy Carter, and that song they have together, Two Most Wanted. And I was just like, there was something about her. I just love her. There's something in her voice. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm like, this is where she fashioned it from. Possibly, I don't know. But I'm like, this is the voice, So it's like that thing that Miley does every now and then is like Stevie's voice. And I was like, oh my God. And like, I was honestly like really shocked and super dramatic about it. Like I was like listening to my daughter. I paused and I'm like, are you freaking kidding? I'm like, this whole entire time, I'm thinking that this is like specific to like, oh, I really like Miley's voice. And this is like Stevie Nicks. So anyway, so that was like the first thing I had to get over that shock. And then I was just like, the song is nice. It's like, I can understand the mythology because with this song, I feel like it's a little mysterious. That's what I thought. And like, because I'm uncertain of the story, it kind of reminds me of this. It's not Lenny's song, but it doesn't remind me of any Lenny song. Okay. I'm not even going to lie. Actually, a lot of her work doesn't remind me of Lenny at all. And I just think that's just the uniqueness of what she's doing. But, I was thinking of Sade's. I don't know if you know Sade, Like a Tattoo.
Big fan.
And she has this song.
Oh, okay.
And I love that song. And it doesn't sound anything like it, but I like music because how it makes me feel and like the emotions it evokes from me. So like listening to this song, Bombay Sapphires, like I felt that same emotion that I feel when I listen to Like a Tattoo by Sade.
That's interesting.
That's
So
very
we're
interesting.
gonna Randy makes a blog post before we
Mhm.
post each episode where we will link to
Mhm.
the Sade song.
Right.
I also, Randy, let's link to Edge of Midnight. Tia, if you've
Oh,
not
yeah.
heard it, Miley Cyrus had that. What was her song called?
Edge of-
End of something.
It
No,
was
Midnight
actually
Sky.
Midnight Sky. Yeah.
And then she did a remix with Stevie Nicks, blending Stevie Nicks' song Edge of 17 with Midnight Sky, where they sang together. And what's really
Yeah.
cool is the lyrics, the parts that Stevie contributed, some were from 1981, some were from now, today, and some were her singing her own song, and some of singing Miley's song, and then Miley singing some of Stevie's song. It's really cool. I think
Oh,
it
that sounds
is
really cool. Okay,
So we'll
so
link to that.
maybe that was
But-
the vibe. Yeah, I was just like, I literally like paused the song. Like the first line she's saying, I was like, hold up. I was like, wait a minute. So,
Mhm.
but no, it's a really pretty song.
So the reason we
Ah.
picked this one, and Randy knows more than I don't know if it's this song or if it's one of the others on the album, was because Stevie had heard, was it No Scrubs?
No, it was Unpretty. It was Unpretty,
Unpretty.
by
Mhm.
TLC.
Go ahead, and yeah.
Oh yeah, and so she heard Unpretty, and so she was like, "Who produced this? Because it sounds so much like Fleetwood Mac." And so she contacted the producer Dallas Austin
Yeah.
to produce some of the tracks on this album, and Bombay Sapphires was one of them. Now she ended up not being happy with his version, and she re-recorded it herself. But it was definitely R&B influenced, and you can really hear that.
Pretty.
Personally, the version that I like the most is the Dallas Austin version, because I like that one.
So wait, what
But-
version did I listen to?
You would listen to the finished version.
The studio
Weirdos-
album version.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We-
So it
I
wasn't the
think-
Dallas Austin version.
I
I'm
think
curious to hear
I
that
think he
version.
got a little too R&B
I'll send
for
it
her,
to you.
Okay.
and he got a
I'm
little too
curious.
R&B for her, and it scared her, I think. So,
Yeah,
but Randy's saying, there's similarities between the two.
yeah,
But I think
I'm-
she de-Dallased it a little in the final version,
yeah. She did.
but she shouldn't.
I'm thinking of the song I'm Pretty, and I feel like, But again, I don't really know like Fleetwood Mac music or like.
It's really the instrumentation, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
the guitar.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tia, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give Bombay Sapphire for your first Nicksperience?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I didn't do it that way. I wish I did. I rated them in as all 5, and like what was
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite in the list of
Okay,
5.
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So where did this fall on your list of
4.
1 to 5? 4? Okay.
4.
All right.
Okay. Oh, now I'm really interested.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Okay, so the next one, and that song is from about 2012. Am I right? Am I in the neighborhood, Randy? Just for Tia's-
2001. It was
2001.
2001.
I only
Mhm.
had it 11 years.
Yeah.
This next one is from Sarah. It's from like 1977,
9.
1979. See, that's why Randy's here. I can get
I am
close.
the
but I
keeper
can't
of the
hit the
pack.
I would have not have known Bombay Sapphires was from 2001.
Yeah.
What would you have thought?
I'm getting feels of like 70s, 80s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Yeah.
So the next one, Sarah, is from an album called Tusk from Fleetwood Mac. And it was an experimental album. It was a 2 double disc. It's just a little bit history. So the version you listen to is 6 minutes long, which nowadays, if a song's 2 minutes long, it's really long, right?
Mhm.
Stevie Nicks wanted this song. Was it 11 or 13 minutes long originally?
The original version was 16 minutes long.
16 minutes long. And her
I love that.
bandmates were like, and her record label was like, no. So
No.
she cut this down. They're out there. You can hear some of the long extended
Yeah.
versions.
There's a 9-minute version that's
Are there
beautiful.
lyrics for it, or is it just
Oh,
like
yeah.
instrumentation?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
so she
yeah.
Yeah,
cut
there's-
the song. Oh, that would have been the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I feel like you wrote something and you want to get it all out there. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
And so there's one version we call the cleaning lady version because
Yeah.
Randy,
Because at the very underneath the instrumentation before she starts singing, she says, "I want to be a star. I don't want to be a cleaning lady." And it's just the way she says it
Because
is amazing.
when she wrote it, she was a cleaning lady.
She was a cleaning lady.
oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
tell us about Sarah. Were you yelling to your daughter again and pausing it, or?
So for Sarah, I'm going to remind. So I really love her voice in this song. I love the lyrics. I feel like they're very relatable. The undoing the laces that she keeps singing, and in my mind, I'm like, what does that really mean? It doesn't mean like he's undressing her. She's being undressed. Like, I don't know. I'm curious to see what you think that means. I love the line when she sings, "Oh, when you build your house, call me home." I love that. I love that. I actually like. I feel like
I'm hugging you, Tia.
yeah.
That's yeah.
That in of
Yeah.
itself just spoke so much to me. I feel like that's just like everyone has that, like no matter what. It's just like, I don't know, for me, I feel like this song kind of reminded me of like the feeling of a Lenny song. Doesn't sound anything like it, but the feeling that I get when I listen to it. He has a
Mhm.
song called Million Miles Away that like when I was listening, and also another song called All I Ever Wanted by Lenny. But when I was listening to this song, Sarah, like
All I ever wanted. See it, Tia. This song also,
Mm.
Randy and I, there are a bunch of Stevie Nicks songs. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. That
yeah, go ahead.
especially this one, because she wanted it to be 16 minutes long.
Mhm.
A lot of her songs on the Fleetwood Mac albums, she's still singing lyrics and performing as they're like fading it out at
Yeah.
the at the end of the track. And I don't know if you heard this. Oh, what you have to turn it up to 15. All I ever wanted was to know that
Know
you
that
were
you were
dreaming
dreaming.
Yeah, something with the dreaming. Yeah.
Sarah.
So in that, yeah. So like, here's what. So I had a friend like when we first met. You know, and we were like talking about music, and then we were like talking about the old school days, like listening to like on the cassette or like taping your favorite
Oh yeah,
songs off
off
the radio and
the radio.
everything. And
Yeah.
then I was just like, oh, like sometimes like you got to turn the song all the way up because they fade it out and like the
Right.
lyrics are still there.
So
And he's
so
like,
I love that Lenny has a
so
song
yeah.
called All I Ever Wanted that you will relate to this one. That makes my heart swell. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Same
So-
lyric. All I ever wanted.
Never needed. So okay, so I don't know. So for me listening to the song, what I felt that it meant for me, and it could be like wrong, it could be a completely different interpretation of the whole thing. But I just feel like, I would listen to the song if I was in a relationship and the person is just like seems to be here and there and they're just really just like not giving me what I need and I'm not going to wait around for you. So when you're ready, you get your stuff together, let me know. Call me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
And
then
call me home, because that's where I'm
exactly.
dumbass.
Right.
And then that's why it reminded me of the Lenny song Million Miles Away in my mind, because in a mind like mine, I just make stories. So like I'm like, it's like the lover's answer to like, but I've always wanted you, anyway, so it's a long thing. You just have to listen to the Lenny Kravitz song. But I really actually love this song, and this is my top song.
Yay.
This is my number one out of the list that you gave me. I really love this
Yay.
song, actually.
It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the funny thing is, even though Tusk was experimental, that song really stands out as like being nothing like anything else on the album.
And Randy and I say this often, like, Stevie's a rock and roll star, but that's not a rock and roll song. That's an opera almost to me, or something. I don't know how to categorize it,
I think of it a lot as a jazz song, because I can see her, especially with the brushes on the percussion. I could see her with just like a little jazz trio of the piano, because the piano's so prominent, and then you have the brushes on the percussion, and then you have an upright bass doing the bass part. And if you had those three instruments and Stevie's voice,
jazz.
that's the song.
Yeah, I can
It's jazz.
that. And I love jazz. Maybe that's why I love the song.
And
Love
see,
that.
to your
Jazz.
question about undoing the laces, I always, like a lot of songs, there's the meaning and the meaning. And of course, I thought like he's taking her corset off or something.
Right.
But he's also, I thought he's understanding and learning about her, and she appreciated that. But then he becomes bonehead, and now she's like, "Fine, I don't got time for this."
Yeah. And actually, that's what I also love about the song, is because wait, is this a song where she says, like, every woman wants to fall in love or fall deep or drown in love or
Yes,
is
drowning in the
Drowning
sea
in
of
the
love
sea
Yeah.
of love.
for everyone.
And this is why I love it, because it's just like, okay, she's vulnerable in these moments, but she's not going to let that control her and stop her life. She's like, I'm still going to do my thing. I wouldn't mind falling in love with you. Like, you're the person that I want to be with, but get yourself together and let me know. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of like
Mhm.
that. It's just, I kind of like that.
He's right. And there's a lot of
freedom,
Stevie
wild
songs that are
spirit of
like,
it all.
this kind of, like you say, diss tracks. I guess this is one, and I never thought about it like that, Randy. It's like,
Yeah, I didn't
I'll
either,
come back
but
and get you.
it's yeah, I'll come back and get you. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
I really like this one.
So this is your favorite. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Next up is one of Randy's favorites. It's called
Yes.
Ghosts Are Gone.
Okay, I played it, and then I was just like, I'm getting a little Shania Twain here.
What? What? Oh, wow.
RJ.
You're gonna have to help me
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, Randy loves this song. I'm not.
No,
that
I'm
enamored
not
with
saying
it.
I don't
No,
like
it's
it,
okay.
and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I actually like.
Oh no,
Shania.
no. I just figured you could hear it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. If you diss it, I won't care. Randy will.
No, you can diss it. I don't.
Randy
it
knows
is
where you live.
my
I'm
favorite.
just saying. Yeah.
Like, my question was, like, when did she write this in the span of her career? Like, where does this song live?
Well, it was on her 2011 album "In Your Dreams," and again, we're at a place where she hasn't made an album for 10 years, and it wasn't anything to do with her health or any scandals or anything. She was really wanting to make an album, and her record company was like, don't make an album right now because Napster's ruining everything and nobody's selling albums. So just go out and tour for a while.
Mhm.
And then when the industry settles down, and she finally got fed up and was like, I'm not waiting anymore. I have music in me and we're going to put it out. And so, Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics was the producer for this album. And I will tell you the reason that I chose it for you was because I felt it had the more rock and roll edge
It
that Lenny
does.
Kravitz does.
Yeah, it does. I find that I think, and you only gave me 5 songs, and she has
Yeah.
so many songs that I would still need to listen to. But I think I have a favorite, like, of how her voice sounds in songs, and the
Mm-hmm.
rock part. I like the Bombay Sapphire sound, the Sarah sound.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one, but it's not one of my favorites of the within the list that you gave me. So I was just curious, like, when she wrote this in her career. It's pretty recent, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The Shania Twain, it kind of made me feel oh, I wish I would have wrote. I wish we could play it, but I guess we can't. But there's like, I can't believe you don't know what I mean by the Shania Twain. So it's just like how the song is structured,
Okay.
and like the breaks within the verses, and how she kind of brings it back in, and then like, I feel like was like a little Shania. I don't know how to describe it to me, but actually I listened to this one and I was with my friends, and we both said the same thing at the same
About
time.
Shania?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I guess I'm not a big follower.
I don't
of Shania,
know.
so I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know.
Other than like the big hits, I don't know if I know a Shania.
But it is
thing,
a big hit. It's like, yes, it was
you
just like hold on, like, I can't play it because then you can't post this on YouTube, right? So don't hate me.
I don't hate you at all.
Don't hate me. Oh my God, you're gonna get like crazy comments.
I'm not a big fan of the song. I love that Randy loves this song. That's why this song makes me
Right.
But it's a little too rocky for me, which is why your Shania Twain comment, like, she's Miss Country Girl. So I'm like,
but it's giving me that, like, it's just like, I don't know. It's giving me like it's how she's.
Oh, okay. Well, I hear the musicality, the way you that part, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, but it is definitely rock. I don't know. My
So
brain
what you're
wants to
telling
hear
us about Ghosts Are Gone is it don't impress you much. That's what you're telling.
I
it.
like that.
Okay, girls. Okay, no. So I did give it 5. I'm so sorry, Randy. It was
No,
like
don't
okay.
don't apologize. The great thing about Stevie's body of work is everybody's got their favorites and everybody's got their least favorites,
And
and it doesn't affect my enjoyment of the song. So
What
and
does it
like
mean to
Kamala
you?
says, there's always room for diversity of opinion.
Like,
that's right.
what does a song mean to you? Like, what does it mean to you? Ghosts Are Gone.
Well, so to me, there's two things about it. I love it when Stevie gets a really good rocker out of her,
Ah,
and this is one of her big rockers. And so this is one of my like driving down the street, cranking it up, windows down, just
okay.
like head banging, which is not something you usually think of when you think of Stevie Nicks.
Okay.
And to me, I love her diss songs. And this song was written about a really bad breakup where she was like, if I see you, I am going to cross the street in order to not ever have to interact with you again. And I
Okay.
love how like fierce she is about that.
Okay. I'll re-listen to it now with that in mind.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's
They can't all be number one in your brain.
no, they can't. No, they can't.
But I really like Sarah.
Yeah,
She's the poet of your
Sarah's
heart.
yeah. That was the first song I ever learned on piano was Sarah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move to the next one, which for the audience is the 1976 live performance of Rhiannon from the Midnight Special. And the reason I wanted to see this one, Tia, was a lot of folks who they hear how very much I love Stevie Nicks, obsessed, if you will. And they're like, oh, she's just like a female pop girl, singer-songwriter. And I want them to see how fierce she can be. Randy and I were not, there were two performances, one of a different song called Sisters of the Moon. We were like, which one should we give? And ultimately I went with this one because I think this one's a little more shows what
iconic and familiar.
Yeah. And fierce.
Yes.
First, anytime anyone says just a singer-songwriter,
Right.
what do they do with their lives? Because
Right.
my daughter is a singer-songwriter and she is so vulnerable because you're giving a piece of yourself. Like every
What's
time
the point
you're
if you're
singing
not
your
doing that? Right.
exactly. So that's
Shout
hard.
shout out to Adi.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada
Yada,
yada.
yada, 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 yada. And she's at NYU now. I dropped her off last weekend. She's going to Tisch, and she is absolutely amazing. And I say all this because the Rhiannon song, I was just like you said, I was like, oh wait, Adia would listen to this in the mornings. So she would listen to this song. So Adia used to play this. She knows so many more like songs. She has just a variety of music that she listens to and plays. But that's the first thing I thought of. One, this is the first song that you gave me like the actual like performance video to. So I love it. I like drama. I like theatrics. I love, and so this gave me everything that all the things, everything I needed. And love her performance. I love her hair. um
Yes, that is
there's
iconic hair.
nothing like a live performance.
All the time.
The
Right.
her hair. I love
That
it.
specific hairstyle, yeah.
And
And I think Randy, that was one of the she had joined Fleetwood Mac in '75 with Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah.
They had some hits.
Yeah.
But this was a show on ABC live at midnight in 1976. And I think she was like, I have something to prove and I'm gonna prove it.
yeah, it's great.
And she proved it.
Oh, I just wrote like eyes because I don't know, like the camera, the angle was just like, the angle of the camera was just like it was like a little up, like it wasn't like, dead on, but it was just like looking up at her a little bit. And then you saw like her eyes was like, what is she staring at? Because it's like it wasn't the
Oh
audience, it's
yeah.
like she's in her own world, that she created like this song, like she's living, like becoming this, I don't know,
I
and maybe
love
that's why
that.
people say like, this what is it, spiritual, like mystical thing, because I don't know, I just looked at her eyes, I'm like, what is she staring at? Because it's just like so far away from like everything else. So I put that in here. And then I thought, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no Lenny song that there's nothing. Okay.
Okay, so but did the guitarist Lindsey Buckingham compare and contrast his fro to Lenny's? I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Okay, seriously.
That was the
You-
right answer. That was exactly the
You
right
really
answer.
I'm just like, what? Like, how am I supposed to do that?
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay, Kamala.
So, and then I put like elusive, and then I don't know if something that you shared, Anthony, like on my social media travels or something that I saw maybe like on Billboard or something. Is there a movie or TV show
Oh,
or something?
Randy will answer this question.
No, you go, Randy. Yes, you know all the details.
Because
Thinking of
I'm
timestamps. Yeah.
right. You're right. I am so obsessed with this little piece of arcane knowledge. So when Stevie was in Fleetwood Mac and she was starting to consider a solo career, the whole crux of the solo career was that she had she had bought the rights to the books of Welsh mythology that song is based on, and was trying to get the movie made, and she was going to do the soundtrack, and she actually has like dozens and dozens of songs written for this film. The film fell through, and instead she made Belladonna, which we're always very happy about. But every like 5 or 6 years, she'll crop up in an interview and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm still working on Rhiannon, but now it's going to be a ballet." And then 5 years later, it's, "Oh well, I'm talking to HBO, and I think we're going to do it as a mini series." So
And then
which
a
is
children's book, and then an animated
and a
series,
children's
and
book,
then
Waiting for something to
and
pop
then a
up,
sandwich menu, and then
Stop.
right. And it's horrible. It infuriates me so much because I want it so bad, and I feel like she's just teasing us.
yes,
And there's a
yes. She
whole
says the
song
Rhiannon
out
project
there.
over and over. The
Yeah,
Rhiannon project's still here. It's just changed a little. Yeah.
right, right.
Well, that's going to be exciting whenever that happens.
She's 76 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Praying for a very greedy goddaughter who gets control of the
Right.
estate.
Exactly.
It's okay. Let's
That's
make it
what's
all.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right.
But we don't want her to go anywhere because we love you.
No, no.
So I have this song as 2.
2. Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. 1 second.
I'm seeing a theme here. I wonder if Anthony's gonna see the same thing when
Do
we're done.
you? So, I think you're already saying it, but just as explicitly asked. Not every singer songwriter or even recording artist nowadays has their performance bona fides. Stevie she is such a good performer. She's not Beyonce or Madonna, right? She's not that. But when she's performing on stage, like you said, the spiritual thing, you feel it. If you don't know what the song's about, you feel it. Her physical performance is more like, Randy, I think we've talked about this quote I read of a review once. Stevie Nicks' physical stage performance is about the 8th fringe from the end on her left shoulder moving a 1/4 inch as she spins. And the audience goes bananas.
Yeah.
So
honestly,
I think she's a great performer. So
I love that. And I don't think it has to look like Beyonce or Madonna, or
Exactly.
you don't have to
Yeah.
be dancing all over the stage, or I just think it's just like being able, like you said, to make someone feel something. Like that's why we're all there. That's why we love music. Make me feel something. And
Yeah.
then it's, and honestly, I told you, I felt even just with the eyes, this was before, she started going like, all like this, I feel like, but I love exactly, but I love that too. And that's enough for me. I'm like, yes,
Exactly.
bring it,
Right.
So yeah, that's exciting. That's actually a good point, Anthony.
Okay, so your bonus track. I'm so glad you listened to it. We just didn't want, we had given you like a lot of these
Right.
songs 6 minutes. We're like, Tia has a life,
Yeah.
So it's Wild Heart, which is the title track of her second studio album from 1983. Randy, am I in the right?
Yep.
I got
Ding,
that
ding,
one.
ding.
Okay.
You got that one.
So tell us about Wild. I think I know where it falls in the list.
Well, yeah. Okay, so something about me and music is just that I love the way like the artists sing something. Like it can just be like the simplest like line, but like how they, sing it, like that just makes me love a song, right? Like you can be like the simplest thing. So Wild Heart, I said I love her voice when she sings Dare Wild Heart. Like I don't know, it's just like something and I was like, oh, like that made me like love it. Like, and I'm telling you, it doesn't take much for me, but it takes like heart. So I love that. And then I put like, I love the drama in her voice when she sings how to start, how to start, how to start. I kind of like that. I feel like this is a song that this character Rhiannon would have wrote. That's what I wrote. And
I
then
love that.
oh yeah, I said I love her voice, especially towards the end. I really did like this song. So it is 3, but I mean, I but I really do love this song. Yeah, that's why.
It is a great song.
Yeah.
My thing when Anthony and I were talking about it is that it's this up tempo, really like bouncy, energetic song, and it's about heartache. I mean, the first line is something in my heart died last night. So
Yeah.
you've got this juxtaposition of this really up bouncy stuff with these really like harsh, deep lyrics.
And you say it, Tia, but I think in general, Stevie Nicks' just voice is underrated. It's such a
Love her
distinctive voice.
Yeah.
You don't, Miley's trying to imitate it once in a while, but in general, you just don't hear performers who sing and use their voice in that way. And one thing I loved about the song, she's had the same exact backup singers since 1981. Every single album, these two people. There's sometimes alternates.
There's some extras in there. I've been collecting them.
Yeah. But like in this, it's the 2 original girls, as she says on this one. And what I love about it is I read an album review that said it like this, and it's so real to me, is that the way the layers of the music and her voice, their voices, and the way they interplay, it's like a bubbling cauldron. And you just hear all this stuff rising out of it. It's just like to a crescendo. And that's how I experienced that song.
Yeah, I really love that song. And I did read something that said something about songcraft, enchanting songcraft. I don't know, but I just wrote that down. I was like, oh, interesting.
Well, it's interesting because we're talking about cauldron and then enchanting and then songcraft / witchcraft. I mean, there's like it all kind of. But sidebar, Anthony, do you know who else sings backup on that particular song?
Carolyn Brooks, Marilyn Martin,
Carolyn Brooks,
Carolyn Brooks, who we met.
Oh, cool.
Randy's met almost all of Stevie's prominent background singers at one point or another. He's got
in this very bizarre. Yeah, I've still got a few to get, but just this weird random thing where I have met 1, 2, 3, 4 of them I think that's right. 4. Yeah.
Where
I
are
met
you
one
in these?
because I was with you. What was
Yeah.
that to you? Sorry.
Oh, I said, well, Randy, where are you? Like, how are you meeting them on
Well,
the airplane or just
no, the
coffee
first
shop?
2 I met with Anthony was there with me and he missed one, but we were at our first Stevie concert together and sitting right behind us with VIP stickers on them was Carolyn Brooks, uh, who sang on Wild Heart. And then while Anthony was in the bathroom, Lori Nicks, who doesn't sing with her on stage anymore, but she just happened to be there and she walked right past me to go visit Carolyn Brooks. And I mean, my
Oh,
eyes got like
I was
saucers.
there. I came back when she was still talking to them, and you tried to get her attention. She's like, "Just give me a minute," or something like that.
Right.
Like, don't you be mean to my friend Lori Nicks.
oh,
The red hair. But the best
Yeah,
part
it
of
was.
meeting Carolyn Brooks was the people that were with her. Randy turned to like just say, "Sorry, I interrupted," or something. He was being really kind. And one of the gentlemen said, "I bet you don't know who this is." And Randy went, "It's Carolyn Brooks, who sang backup on this album, on this song, and I loved you on Beauty and the Beast."
oh, I
You
love
could have
it.
knocked her over with a feather
Yeah,
if she hadn't been in a wheelchair already.
right.
I love it. I
Made
love
her
it. I love
Yeah.
it.
entire decade. Like,
Yeah,
and I
it
think
was awesome.
100% sure. You were like,
No,
what
I absolutely.
you
Here's
were.
a
Okay.
little secret, listeners. Her name was on her like backstage sticker.
I
Oh,
love
you blew the
it.
whole mystery. I thought you just figured it out. I'm so mad now. We're editing this out of it.
Please do. Please do.
Okay, we'll
I
talk
want to
about
keep. I want to keep my own mythology intact.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, you meet all the celebs.
All right, so Tia,
It's
okay, so listen to all 5.
Mhm.
How likely is it you think you'll just explore her music, her catalog on your own, or is your homework done and you're like, I gotta go listen to Letty now?
Well, I feel like I definitely downloaded Sarah. I really do love that song. And if you have any suggestions for songs that I think I like when she's singing, I like her voice in that song. I love her voice in Wild Heart. So any songs like that, I'll definitely maybe like go to my Apple
We'll come up
Music,
with
put her
5.
on shuffle, and like, oh, I like that one. I mean, I have
We'll
some
come up with 5 more and put it on,
yeah.
send it to you, and then Randy will put the list on the podcast too.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the
Actually,
website.
I think with that information, we could really curate you a really nice playlist of that. Because if you, I don't know if you caught on to this, Anthony, but if you look at Tia's like number 1 to number 5,
Yeah.
it's actually kind of a progression of her career because
Yeah.
it's the early stuff that
Mhm.
rises to the top. And that's true for a lot of people. And there's some beautiful, I think you would probably
how about this
like
question,
everything
then?
from Tusk.
Between number 3 and number 4, how much space is there? Like, was it like I like them pretty much the same, or was it like vast difference? Wild Heart and Bombay Sapphire.
Oh, there's a little space.
Okay.
Wild Heart, Bombay Sapphires, right?
Yeah, there's
Like
a
that.
little space.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I feel like the top 3 is just like, whoa, I love this, right?
Okay.
And then, 4 somewhere in here, and then 5 is just like right under. But yeah, I do like that. I don't know. I feel like when I was like listening to her music, like trying to figure out like the lyrics, that's, like exactly what she's singing. There's this book that I read, and that's what immediately like kind of like what I thought about. There's this book that I read, and it's called Woman Who Run with the Wolves. And I feel, the book, and I feel like she's like the embodiment of like that book, where it's just like, and every woman, there's something that we tend to like push down and, feel like we have to be these things that the society wants us to be. but then there's just part of us that wants to be free. And I feel like that's that. I feel like that's Stevie. Like, I feel like she's like writing these lyrics, like she's acknowledging her hurt and pain, but she's not completely broken by it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know, she's living her life. She's not afraid to love. She's not afraid to fail. She's not afraid to do these things. And she's still like making it out on the end, you know, like
yeah. I love
Yeah.
that you said it that way. Yeah.
I do too, because you know what? And now I'm so mad we didn't put this song on there, but there is a lyric from a song that says, "Fingers find the ivory keys." Oh, crap, I knew it. Wait, fingers find the ivory keys.
Like a wolf on the run. That's where you're going.
Yeah. I'm going like a
Yeah.
wolf on the run.
Mm.
She has a lyric about running with wolves, and
But-
that imagery is very Stevie Nicks.
I think, Randy, I think you know from a lot of our conversations over all these years, you know, there are some songs where Randy's like, you know, this is a sad song, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like you're saying,
Yeah.
like, yes, I am completely effed up,
Yeah.
but I will go on. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It's like there's always like this like underlying like strength, but
Yeah.
also like freedom. Like you know what I like? I think I realized like just listening to this, like listening to her songs, like I think I really like songs that have a sense of longing. Like, and I don't like, and I realized like when I was thinking about like all the Lenny songs that I like, I don't know. I just like the way that makes me feel when I listen to them. We're just like, you know, like you want this thing, but like you're still going on. Like you know, like so either like in romance, most of the time is romance, but I think that it's like songs where you're acknowledging that you're not where you want to be, you know, and anything I tend to really like.
Love
So
it. Okay,
yeah.
Randy, we're at it almost at an hour because this has been such a wonderful
We need
conversation.
and some of us are on their way to the beach right now.
Oh,
so I
yes.
need to
You're
And
trying
I
to
might see Joe
out.
Biden there because he's apparently there on the beach this week.
say hey to Uncle Joe for us.
I will. Do you have any follow-up, any final questions, Randy or Tia?
No, I tell you, Tia, this was really great, and I love the fact that you're giving Anthony and I another viewpoint to see some of these songs. And plus you're just all around fabulous, as I told you earlier, which makes me very happy that you were on the show today. And I think Anthony and I are going to have a lot of fun curating you a new
She's going to be like, stop sending me songs.
Right.
No, I won't. Trust me. I love new music. And which we didn't talk about is, you know, I was telling, you know, to your viewers is that, and listeners, I love Lenny Kravitz. And we didn't even talk about, like, I could talk of the way you talk. And I was like, my God. But the thing is, like, I don't know anyone else who loves Lenny as much as I do. So it's always just been like a lonely thing. Like, I never had like anyone who loves Lenny as much as I do. But like, you know, I love this podcast because you're just like a deep dive into Stevie Nicks music and to her. I love that. I'm like, I wish I had someone to do that with Lenny. Like, but anyway.
You should.
But it's not gonna happen, Randy. I don't know. No, seriously. I was just like, I don't know. I have so many stories about like.
Okay, here you go. I am
almost met
manifesting
him.
that Lenny Kravitz is going to reach out to do a podcast with you about him. I'm manifesting
Yes.
it, and I'm putting it out there.
I am the hugest star. I could talk about him for star. I'm the hugest star. I am a huge star. No,
You are.
Yes, you are.
fan.
You are.
And but yeah, so I was saying like I love Lenny, but I also like really love Mariah Carey, and I've loved Mariah since like middle school.
Me and Mariah go back like babies with pacifiers.
Like even before that, and different reasons. Like she has like really like a lot of her songs like really got me through like a lot of things. But and then like who's creeping up is like Lana Del Rey. And I love Lana. I'm so sorry. I just think she's absolutely like fantastic. And I wanted to say that because I think Anthony is like not a fan, and I'm so disappointed.
Well,
That's
Lana
okay. I'm on
and
your
Stevie have
side.
worked together.
Right, so my son.
Yes.
Lana and
Yes.
Stevie have worked together on a song, right? Is it one
Yeah.
of
Beautiful
Lana's
people
albums?
with beautiful problems.
That's
Oh.
it.
Yes.
I didn't even know. I honestly, I know that song, and I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that it was.
I think it's background
I just-
vocals. Randy?
No, it's a
Or
duet.
harmonies?
It's a
It's a
duet.
duet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it is. It is a duet.
Yeah.
And so because of that, and because we know how Anthony feels, Tia and I are the beautiful people with beautiful
Beautiful
problems.
problem.
I'm the beautiful problem. That's what you're telling
You
me.
are the
you're-
beautiful. Yeah,
but
we're the beautiful
okay,
people. You're the
you
beautiful
know what?
You're
problem.
the beautiful
I
problem.
have listened to that song once and I was like, but because I had a preconceived notion. So I will tell you, Tia, Google Lana Del Rey's first appearance on Saturday Night Live. Put everything out of your mind and tell me what you think. And I'll give her another chance. She came on looking like Ginger Grant, and I was just like, this is the most boring thing I've ever heard.
White shirt, walked into the room, you know you made my eyes burn.
No, but that's the thing, no. Like I saw Lana, like this is when I used to go to like I can't remember
I
like
thought she was
music
asleep.
festival.
I was like, wake up, Lana Del Rey. But I'm
Some
going to give her another
people
chance.
just
I
aren't
promise.
like that big, like she's okay perform, but I just love her. I love her voice and I love what she sings about. And I love that feeling of like, it's always just like this sad girl, you know, dramatic, you know, oh my God, you know,
I'm telling you,
bad
just
boys,
Google that
older
and tell
men.
me, Google that, watch it, and tell me at least if you see what I'm saying. She got into Stevie's Klonopin that night. That's all I'm going to say. That's
Oh
the
wait,
gross.
was this when she had
It was really early
games
in her
out
career.
earlier?
Really early.
Yeah, but she was super young. Come on,
Yeah, and she
come on,
didn't know
Anthony. That's
better.
not fair.
I
That's not
told you,
fair.
I said twice, I'm saying again, I'm going to give her another chance.
That's
Just
not
for you
fair.
guys.
Okay. All right.
But she
Fair
also,
enough.
even though she's not like, the songs I like of hers are really actually songs written by Jack Antonoff.
And I like Jack Antonoff.
Me too.
And I
He's
love
a great songwriter. I
he
mean,
is.
my gosh, like he can capture a moment. He's just a great storyteller. Like I'm like and I realize I'm like, wow, a lot of the songs I like by Taylor Swift, he's also a part of.
Right.
A lot of yeah, and I'm like, oh, he's just really great. Like so,
All right, I will.
He is.
You'll have to text me some songs you want me to listen to, Tia. To give her
all of
another-
them.
Okay.
Just
Or
listen
give me
to them
3
all.
to start with. How's that?
Okay, 3. Just okay, fine.
Yeah.
I will. Okay, thank you.
All
I
right,
love
so
the
Tia,
podcast.
before
Love
we
you,
go,
Anthony.
what
Love you,
one
Randy.
song would you
Mhm.
want Stevie Nicks fans to listen to of Lenny Kravitz?
That's not fair.
Come on. If you can't
I
think of one
listened to
now,
5.
text me and we'll put it. Oh, you want more than
Hey,
What do you mean 1? I mean, come on. There's just that's not fair. I mean, I do like okay. That's not fair though. Give me at least 5.
okay,
I
5.
listened to
And
Go
this-
5.
for it. Go for it.
Right.
I'll
Then
send
this
you
time.
5.
You'll send us. Okay.
Send you
And
5.
we'll
That's
put them
good.
on the blog.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
So again,
All right.
thank you, Tia. We're so
Thank
happy
you.
were
Thank you
able to
so
join
much.
us
It was so
today.
nice to meet you finally.
I
I've heard so
know,
many great things about
finally.
you.
You guys have
Same.
emailed, I think, right? And like,
Maybe
Yeah,
Wasn't it
maybe.
years
before? Yeah.
ago, like briefly, but nothing like. I mean, this was a
This was better. This was
conversation.
better.
yes,
Yeah.
Tia's all that, which I've been saying forever.
That was
I
like a
just thought,
coffee. This is a meal.
there you go. So yes, thank you for being here. We had a great time.
Yeah, me too. I
And
took notes and I did homework, Anthony, for you. No, but thank you.
so, yes, until next time, Anthony.
We'll see you all on the other side of the mirror.
Well, all right, said Alice.
Bye.
Bye.